all know at some level you're going to experience rejection as a parent. It's the way that littles start to learn their independence and that their words have meaning and power. It could be a teenager that doesn't know how to deal with their own pain and frustration, or it's something that you're going to experience because it's time for you to kind of reflect on your parenting. But regardless, rejection from your child is difficult and it hurts a lot. So I will be focusing in more on the area of adoption and working through some of the rejection that kind of comes with that as you're growing as a family. But I will be talking about, parenting in general. Hi, my name is Sierra McDowell. If you are new, thanks for being here. If you are returning, then awesome. Thank you for coming back. My experience thus far in parenting has been with littles. So you clicked on this video and you're like, all right, how do I deal with rejection? And you're thinking about your older one. There are some little nuggets that I think that you will be able to pull from here, even if you have older kids. And I will also at the end be sharing some practical examples and tips of things to walk through when you're experiencing this rejection. I shared this exact thing with a fellow adoptive mama. There was a level of frustration because she felt like no one had talked to her about this, and it would have helped just her heart be in a different position and learning how to navigate this a little bit. With one of my children, you will see the need that he may have for me, and he does see comfort, does enjoy my presence at times, but there is a difference between being needed and being wanted or desired. When we first brought our child home, I just wouldn't take any of that rejection personally because it wasn't personal. And then it got to a point where I was a little bit hurt behind closed doors or in small moments. It was a constant pushing away and a constant not wanting me, but wanting dad. And so sometimes that happens, right? Is that the child that you bring in, they will connect more with one parent versus the other. Usually it's the mom and not the dad, usually the primary caretaker, not the other one. But it is what it is. So throughout the day, there would be 50 situations, small ones, but they would come up. And after a while, it just started to kind of get hard because I am pouring in and every tiny thing I did, I would almost correlate it back to, what if this doesn't happen the way that I hoped for and the way that I desired it to? And what would that mean for me in my relationship with my child? I would just burden all of this of, it's all coming down to me all the time and in every decision that I make. And if I make a mistake, then that could ruin us forever. Don't do that. You will make yourself crazy and you will actually compromise the role that you have because you're trying to overcompensate for areas that you feel are lacking. Part of what I was trying to do was win his love, was win his approval so that I felt accepted by him. But it was starting to hinder my heart in the way that I was loving my child well. So I need to come to a place of getting my heart in check. And so I'm going to challenge you to do the self-evaluation if you are in this season. I'm not speaking about those moments of rejection, but when there is rejection as a whole that goes for days, weeks, months, or even years. Some people, when I've been sharing this, have gotten a little agitated in the way that I say this. So let me finish explaining, don't skip forward. What if my child, as he grows up, never does fully love me or desire that relationship with me? And this sounds so negative. Of course, I would never hope that. I would never wish that. When I say that he may never like me or may not love me, and that being something that I needed to be okay with, really is the place that I needed my heart to be. Because when I could actually get there and accept that and understand what it changes, really is nothing. I will love them the same exact way, regardless if years down the road I am still rejected and not liked by one of my children. Your love cannot be conditional. And it's easy to just say that and know that, but when you're dealing with it throughout the days and weeks and months, then it starts to affect you in different ways emotionally and mentally. Your head may have that knowledge, but when it's playing out, it may look a little bit differently than what you had in your mind originally. There's this saying like, all these children need is love, and that's not true. there's a lot more that they need. And so I'm not trying to blindly say like my love will fix certain things, but when I can come to a place of understanding that I will not change a darn thing about the way that I love my child so that I can receive his love back, it is freeing. And it is a beautiful thing, because all he needs right now is for my love to cover him and to teach him what love is. The perfect example I can give for this is the love that God has for us. His love for us is not contingent on what he gains from us and why he continues to choose to love. It's simply because he created us and he loves his children. He doesn't wait for us to come to him. He sent his son not because of anything that I did for him, and receiving that sacrificial love. He sent Jesus so that Jesus could step in the gap. He didn't wait for me. When you can really start to understand that in your own life, what that unconditional love looks like, and to learn how to love that way, that is one of the things that is going to sustain you and help you in those hard moments when it is difficult to love and to press in and to deal with that pain in that rejection, because it's hard to do it on your own. And you will start to come to a place of wanting to guard yourself and protect yourself, because when you're burned so many times by a fire, you don't want to keep putting your hand on the fire. But with God's protection, the continuum of him teaching us how to do this, that is when the shift will take place. This creates freedom and being able to love well. Because when you are constantly putting things through a lens of it could all play out in a very negative way, and so every moment has to be perfect, then it places you under very heavy pressure, and it sneaks out in kind of ugly ways. And so being able to have the freedom and knowing that God's grace will cover your mistakes, you can choose to continue to love and that be the thing that you are going after, because that is something that is in means of your control, versus the things that are out there that you're trying to control and manipulate that you actually have no control over. So here are some of the practical tips and what this looks like in navigating, and some of the things that you can do throughout your days that are going to help you a little bit more. Do not be a hovercraft. Sometimes it's like, okay, connection and bonding, have all of those moments where, you're choosing that, but sometimes it just becomes a little bit too much. You will say, I am here for you. I want to talk to you. I will press in these moments, and not having you forcing yourself on them. My son, if he falls, and my husband and I are both in the room and I get to him first, my husband's slow, pick him up, and he looks at me and he is angry that it is not his father. I give him a hug, I say, Mommy's here, and then I hand him over to his dad, and I let his dad do that. I'm not going to force myself on him, but allow him to know that I am always there. Recently, when he had a small surgery done, he is okay. I was the one at the hospital when he woke up from general anesthesia, and he was upset that it wasn't his dad, but I was continuing to hold him and rock him and help him work through that and navigate it. That has shifted things a little bit in our relationship, I believe, in the last few weeks, where he realized Mom can comfort me too and help me through this. So I'm not saying to always go so far the other way. Know when it is the time and when it is not the time for you to press in versus giving space. Don't take everything personally. It is not always about you. It sometimes has nothing to do with you. These children are trying to figure out dynamics and relationships, and they have come, most of the time, if we're talking in the area of adoption, they have lost significant relationships in their life. So relationships are not safe for a long time when you've experienced that much loss. So do not take everything personally. It does not mean not to take responsibility for your actions, for your words, and being able to apologize for things that might have come up or things that you need to take ownership in. But it's okay to apologize, because everyone's trying to continue to navigate relationships, and relationships are messy. If your child is connecting with one of the parents, sometimes there can be a little bit of jealousy that happens, but you can turn that around into, it is a beautiful thing that my child is connecting with one of their parents, and they are learning to grow in it and receive love and receive comfort and receive connection. You can turn that jealousy and that negative, like, why is it not me, into being able to witness something that is beautiful. This is going to help your heart and wanting to even encourage that, because you know that that is a beautiful thing that your child needs. Sometimes it's good to take a softer parenting approach for a season. You know, my son's having, a harder time where it is a constant pushing away, a constant rejection, and I can be the softer parent. It's hard when you're the primary caretaker because they're little kids and it's having the softer approach. So not like the disciplinarian, not like the corrector, and being able to step back in those moments and letting them kind of take the wheels on like those things that might be more of a trigger or that are more difficult. My approach is definitely softer. He has more respect for my husband right now, but we needed that for a season because everything was defensive for him and pushing me away. So for me to kind of go into the softer approach is something that has been helpful. With the softer parenting, sometimes when they do respond to it, it's easy to be like, yay, good job, you listened to me and you didn't just say no and push me away or run up to your room. But I would encourage you not to go over the top with it, because then they see that that action and those words have more power to them, and they will use that as a way to manipulate and control you the next time. Say like, oh, see, that worked. I got to you on that one. And so the next time they want to have some authority in their life and show you and put you in place, then they will use those things. The example be of go put your shoes away, and it's no, mom mean and me no love you. And it's like, okay, but I still need you to put your shoes away. That's all right, you feel that way right now? I need you to be kind and respectful in your words, but go put your shoes away. Versus the next time when it is like, okay, and he goes and puts his shoes away, and I could sit there and praise him and make it all exciting, but then he knows, and we want to manipulate and control the next time, then he will react in a negative way. So when he does it, just like, good job, thanks so much for listening to mom, and then we move on. So try some of those tips, and I would love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. If you are going through this, what your experience has been. If you have something that I can learn from in this, please share it, because I am growing just like you and trying to navigate this. DM me on Instagram. I love chatting with mamas because we're all learning together. So if you like this video, then please check out these videos because I think they'll be the next one for you. And thanks for being here.